everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. I'm so excited to be here today. We're talking the month of love, the February movies. Very exciting, perfect for Hallmark Channel. And I'm Rachel, and I have two very special guests today. I have Lisa from Girl Gone Hallmark is here.
Hi, guys.
Yes. And we have Emma from the Hallmark is here.
What's up?
Yes. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good.
Really
I'm always
well.
excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so fun. So Lisa, let's see. How was your Valentine's Day?
My Valentine's Day was me thinking, oh, it's Valentine's Day. Shoot. I forgot. And got the kids something, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. But you recently had an amazing experience to get to go to Paris.
I did in December, so that was kind of nice. I got to experience Paris at Christmas, which was amazing. So yeah, I shouldn't complain. That's why I was like, no gifts for the next, 5 years, because I had an amazing experience in Paris. I don't really need anything.
Well, and this was quite a romantic thing. So you went by yourself, right?
I went with my sister, actually.
Okay.
It was a 40th birthday present, and my husband was like, I know you would probably have more fun traveling by yourself than a 40th birthday party. And I was like, you are correct. So he got everything together, and then I was talking to my sister, and we realized we have never taken a sister trip, and she had some time off, and I said, well, let's go, let's do it. So we went together, and we had a blast. We had a really good time.
That sounds amazing. What was the highlight of the trip?
The highlight of the trip was food, plus all the wine. And then more food. Of course, all the museums and all the culture and stuff, but just walking around, just anywhere you stop was incredible. So, just, and really honestly, getting to hang out with my sister. We live in different states. We don't see each other a whole lot. So it was really good. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, because my sister's same thing. Two of them are living in England right now, actually, and then my other sister's in Virginia. So yeah, don't get to see him.
Gotta go visit them in England.
Yeah, go visit England.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if the podcast can start making more money, then I can go visit my sister. Come on, guys. But Emma, what about your Valentine's Day? Did you get to do anything fun?
We watched Warrior based on your recommendation.
Yes.
And then this is probably pretty sad, but it's fun for us. We got tiramisu to go from Olive Garden and just ate it in bed and watched a movie.
I think you nailed Valentine's Day.
I'm like, that sounds amazing.
But the movie we watched when we were eating the tiramisu was Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I don't know why it was that one.
Had you seen it before? Or was this your first time?
I'd seen it before. I don't know why I wanted to watch it again. I wanted either Hot Rod or that, because I love Hot Rod. It's just ridiculous, but it ended up on Ricky Bobby.
Now, Talladega Nights is really funny for me because I went with like 4 or 5 of my friends. This was, of course, when it came out years ago, and they were all like so horrified. They were like, that was so offensive. That was horrible. And it does have lots of offensive stuff. Let's be honest. But I'm sitting here in the back being like, I thought it was funny. Sorry.
NASCAR is super big where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I had moved from New York to, let's just say any town, like just say Bible Belt area. And it was 2nd grade, and I told my friend that I hated NASCAR, and she told me to go back to where I came from.
Yeah.
So NASCAR is really big where I live.
Right.
I just love when he's running around that track and he's like praying to the Oprah's God or whatever it was. It's so ridiculous. And I do love their prayers. I mean, it's so funny. But yeah, it is.
But it's not romantic.
It's not that romantic.
Nah.
Have you seen that, Lisa?
I have. I think I've only seen it once though, but I remember when it first came out, I actually saw it in the theater.
Yeah. I do think it's pretty funny, but watch with caution because I was the only one in my group that liked it. We'll see. But I'm glad if you want to listen to our podcast, our new top 5 show has gone very well. We've done it in January and in February, and we had The Warrior was my suggestion as one of the best sports movies ever made. And so if you want to listen, I'll put a link down if people want to listen to both of those, because we did Valentine's Day as well, which was a lot of fun. Great movies to watch in Valentine's, where I recommended everybody watch Lady and the Tramp because it's the best. And and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're going to have more of that coming. So if you have ideas for topics that you'd like to hear our top 5s on, let us know. But yeah, so this month we had 4 new movies on Hallmark Channel, and then we are only covering one of the new movies on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, because I'm going to cover all of the Chronicle Mysteries with Lori Stark, the podcaster extraordinaire, and so you'll get to hear my thoughts on that series then. So we're just going to talk about Emma Fielding today, and but then the rest are the Hallmark movies. So a lot of fun. And make sure you check out our podcast that Amy and I covered the non-Hallmark movies from February, and that was really fun. We got to, I got to show Amy my great mafia knowledge, which I don't know why I know all this stuff. It was so funny because I'm like, yeah, they have this thing called Cosa Nostra, and I'm like going on and on and on, and she's like, what is going on here? Like, I don't know, sorry. But anyway, it was pretty fun. And so that's up on the podcast. And also our interview on Monday was, I got a chance to talk to Patrick Serrano from Lifetime Uncorked. Hey. And we had a really great conversation. That was so much fun. He's a great person and a great podcaster. And so we definitely want to check that out if you haven't. So, all right, well, let's just dive in to these movies and we'll talk about it and give our crowns of what we thought, and make sure you let us know your thoughts and what you liked or didn't like about these various films. So, all right, let's talk about Valentine in the Vineyard. That was our first movie, and this is our sequel to our third movie in the the Vineyard trilogy, I guess we can call it. And the summary was, back for the third installment, Frankie and Nate manage life on the vineyard and plan a secret wedding. So first, Lisa, what was your thoughts on the 2 previous films?
Okay, I loved the first one. I thought it was different. I thought they had, they were great together. I really had fun with the first one. I was super excited when the second one came out, and that didn't last very long. Yes. I really wasn't into, and I love wine. I do love wine. Uh-huh. And I love drinking wine. I love pretending I know about wine. I love acting like I know how to cork stuff. I don't know. I do enjoy it, but I don't enjoy the science part of it. Just let me drink it.
Right.
So I mean, that one kind of fell flat for me. I mean, I only watched it the one time, so maybe I should rewatch it and see if it's better the second time around.
Uh-huh. Emma, what about you? Have you seen either of the first 2?
I have not.
Oh, so this is your first introduction.
It was.
Okay. Were you completely lost? Were you able to pick up?
My guess is that it's kind of like feuding wineries, kind of like Romeo and Juliet, but like tamer Hallmark version.
Yeah.
Am I right?
The only difference is that the only addition is in the first one, they have to share a house. And they literally like divide it by, each one gets half a house. It's kind of convoluted and fun, but because they each end up buying it. And anyway.
Okay.
So, I bought it. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. So while it's all getting fixed anyway, they split the house basically in 2 with a piece of masking tape and whatever. And of course they end up falling for each other. And and then the second one is all about her being super, so she's like the scientist one, she's like the mixologist one, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called in wine things, but anyway, she's like making the batch that they're going to sell, and she's just super worried that the wine isn't going to be ready. And
that sounds like stressful, just worried about stuff. I don't like those Hallmark movies.
Yeah, the wine's not ready. It's not ready. Will it be ready? I don't know. Oh my gosh, we have like an hour and it's not ready, and then in the background they decide, the dude Nate decides to host this giant event on their vineyard, which of course adds to the stress, and everything be ready. Spoiler alert. It was ready.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
the day of the thing. Oh, look. Yeah. I'm not a fan of these scientific farmer movies on Hallmark. Whether it's this one or the Tulip movie, just about bored.
You didn't like Harvest Moon with the pumpkin face
that
stuff?
That was pretty good, but it was pretty minimally about the scientific farmer. It wasn't like the whole tension of like, was it gonna?
What about like the farm on the roof? What movie was that? They ended with like a farm on the roof.
That's Harvest Wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Farm on the roof. God, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like is the perfume gonna be ready? So it's like a slight variation. That one was pretty boring for me.
Yeah, so I was gonna bring that one up. The bathtub perfume.
This was Lifetime, but they had the poinsettia movie, and are the poinsettias gonna turn red in time? Like, it's a Christmas movie. Of course they're gonna turn red in time. I'm not like, what's going on? And those kind of movies just aren't my favorite. So just say that up front. So the first one, really charming, really cute. I enjoyed it very much. They have pretty good chemistry. I think Rachel Lee Cook and Brendan Penny. And the whole sort of classic opposites attract plus Romeo and Juliet kind of thing going on there, and the families feuding and stuff. That was all fun. I enjoyed it. So then the Summer in the Vineyard, the only reason I kind of have a bit of nostalgia for it is that it was in the first official episode of the Hallmarkies podcast, was Summerfest 2000. Okay. And what was that? 2017? Yeah, 2017 was Summer in the Vineyard, and I hated it. So it was my first time on the podcast disliking a movie. It was so boring to me, and I just did not care if the wine was going to be done. And there was like no growth in their relationship. It was really weird because they didn't get engaged in that at the end of that movie. They didn't really grow at all. They were just kind of like, it was odd. And and they were really hard on the Marcus Rosner character because he had dated a girl from the first movie. It was like her cousin or friend, I can't remember. But anyway, and they had broken up, and Rachel Lee Cook character was acting like he was the worst person in the world for having let this happen. Yeah. And so that was like, what? People break up, like, calm down. And I don't know, it was just very dull for me. And I don't know, maybe now that I've seen so many, it wouldn't be as dull. But yeah, it was the first one that I heard. And Amber didn't care for it either. So anyway, that's the story on Summer in the Vineyard. And so then we had this announcement of Valentine in the Vineyard, and I was hopeful that they would, like, the idea of a secret wedding sounds kind of fun. So I was hopeful. I think I gave it a box of chocolates. So it wasn't in the preview special. But I just didn't care for this movie, unfortunately, really at all. I don't think it's much better than the second one. There were so many things that didn't make sense to me. Like, why on earth is she lying to him about going to school? That made no sense.
That didn't make any sense at all. Why was he lying about dirt lessons?
Yeah, that's right. The compatibility lessons, like, that just makes no sense. Why on earth would you not share with your fiance that, like, I'm going to school and taking classes? Like, that's a good thing, like, in every way. What?
Was it supposed to be like a gift though? Like the Valentine's gift to each
Yes.
other?
And somebody told me that on Twitter, and I was like, okay, I missed that part. And I rewatched it, and I was like, that's not a gift.
No, you don't give people the gift of your education. Like, what?
Like, here's my degree. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I should have asked you guys first. Like, what were your overall thoughts on the movie? Were you higher on it than me? What about you, Lisa?
I really, really wanted to like it, and I was really excited, and it ended up being so messy.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were parts of it I had fun with, and I was excited to see like them get to a different place. But so much of it just didn't make sense to me.
Like the whole time I'm watching them, I think these people should not get married. They legitimately should not get married. They do not have trust. They do not what? I don't know. I feel like I just don't understand these last two movies. Very weird. Emma, what did you think as new to the the
franchise?
Yeah, the franchise.
I don't know. I have nothing invested in this couple.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I didn't really care too much about them being engaged in this wedding thing. I just know that once they started wedding planning, I had a hard time not zoning out, especially when it was a very short time and it was all stressful and everything was stressful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a really hard time having
and this not only it's not only one wedding, which is not my favorite, but it's two weddings. I mean,
for no reason, for zero reason. I didn't understand the parents' just god awfulness about those two kids getting married. I'm like, just let them get married. Who cares where it is? Who cares? Let them get married. Why are you? Listen, calm down. Just let them get married. And then they have to. And I know that was just a device just to get them on the Sorrento, whatever. But then it just became such a oh, don't say anything about our wedding. Don't say it. And I'm like, why? What is it?
Too much lying and hiding.
Yes.
Yes.
And it wasn't the kind of lying that's like fun. Like, you know what I mean? If you're lying that like, oh, this person's my fiance and not really, you know, I just met him yesterday. That's kind of a fun lie. But like lying about going to class, like, and getting your education, like that's not an interesting lie. Like, what?
No.
And plus it's sad, like being engaged, that's such an exciting time and they have to hide it. Of course that's going to cause all these problems. That's not very Valentine's-y.
Why couldn't they just wait a week and be like, okay, now that this is, I know y'all are planning, so we're going to get married later, but hey, we got engaged as well. Like,
that takes nothing away from, if anything, it adds to the experience of the one couple to, oh, you're doing this too. That's so fun. Woohoo.
Let's look at things together. Let's make sure
right.
that we don't step on each other's toes and order the same cake or the same.
Yeah. I can't imagine anyone being like, well, thanks a lot. I mean, if you got engaged at their wedding, I can see being
right.
But other than that, I can't imagine anyone being like, thanks for honing in on my turf.
I invented marriage. How dare you?
That's right. So have you two ever taken a compatibility test with your spouses?
No. Oh, it would be really bad. Like,
yes,
it would say get divorced, but we're so in love and we work really well. I just don't think they matter.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, look, I've latched on. He puts up with me, and that's it. No, it doesn't matter what a test says. I'm in.
Yeah.
He puts up with all my weirdness and all my Hallmark watching. So,
well, we already know we have relationship goals with Lisa. I think gets her a ticket to Paris. I mean, who cares if you're incompatible?
That's true.
That's all I need. Yeah. What did you think of this whole compatibility test? Like, what they had to what some of the things that they had to do? They had to build that shelf together.
Yes.
Which I do think that building a piece of IKEA furniture is a very good test of compatibility.
That is true.
So frustrating. You just want to screen.
That's a marriage. That's a test right there to see if you should get married. I just thought, she asked that one question at the beginning, the coordinator or the moderator or whatever, what would be your ideal night? And they both said something different. And I'm like, yeah. And that doesn't mean you're incompatible in life. That just means you both like to do different things. And there's more than one night in a week where you could do both of those things.
Right.
And there are nights when I really want to just veg out. And then there are nights when I'm like, yeah, let's go to dinner.
Yeah. My parents would, by this criteria, would be super uncompatible because my mom likes to like knit and read and like stay at home, raise her kids. Like that's her personality. My dad is like, I want to go BMX riding and I want to do like outdoors, like whatever activities. And I don't know. And so, but hey, they somehow have made it work 40 years. So, if you're exactly the same in a couple, that would be really boring.
Yeah, I do not want to be married to myself.
Yeah.
I drive myself insane. I want to be with someone who's not exactly like me.
Right. Because you complement each other.
Right.
Well, and hopefully like the person that you're with like makes you grow as a person, become more accepting, better, all that stuff.
Right.
The only like differences that obviously are problematic is if somebody's like overbearing and like not letting you be you, right? Yeah. And that's a problem. Or if somebody is just super submissive and never bees themselves, that's obviously not a relationship that's going to work. But as long as people are able to be themselves in their relationship, then that's all that matters as far as compatibility, I think.
That was my problem with the second movie, was they just kept keeping stuff from each other. And then at the end, they're like, they basically come to this resolution where they're like, let's not keep stuff from it. We're a team. Let's work as a team. And in this movie, they're keeping stuff from each other. And then they're also keeping stuff from their family. And they're also like, it's just to me, the best part of this was it had Madison Smith. There, I said it.
I agree with you. He was I have it written right here. Madison Smith and his puns were the best part because he was hilarious. And the whole thing, like being into that girl and, getting the courage to ask her out and whatever, that was cute. I enjoyed that.
Super cute. And I need Madison Smith to be a lead.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. He's so charming and fun. And I thought that Marcus was fine. Like I don't know. I wasn't that invested in their story. And I don't know if they necessarily had that great of chemistry, but the main problem to me with this lying about being in school was so dumb. I just couldn't get over it for me. But I did like the proposal. I thought the proposal was pretty epic with the drone and everything. That was fun.
It was fun. I just thought it was funny. I'm not a big proposal person. I got engaged before like Pinterest and Instagram where you had to make it all ridiculous. But I did think that it was like they were in the wedding and then they were out and then like last minute she's like, I'm there. And my only thought was, did they tell the bride that was been getting married the entire time that she was back in? Because all of a sudden it's like there they are walking out. I'm like, did anybody know that she was back in and that he needed to stand up? It was just so messy.
There was honestly a side of me, and this is probably completely inaccurate, but there was a side of me that wondered if production was like literally debating while making the movie whether there was going to be another movie, and then they're like, you know what, this one was so hard to put everybody together and put all the pieces together, just get them married and it's done.
Yeah. Anybody else? They should have gotten the wedding march people in there too, and just have them walking by and be like, "Hey, get in, jump in here, don't get married too."
Right. Well, that's what I thought. Like, because if there was going to be a fourth movie, they would have totally gone all wedding march on it, and not have them get married for sure.
What do you guys think about a double wedding?
A double wedding? I'm fine with it, but I'm not that like. I don't know. I'm not as super And maybe it's because I'm 38 and single. I just want to get married. I don't really care.
Yeah, I can't even coordinate brunch with another person. I can't imagine a big event.
Like, I really don't care, like, what the flowers are and what the, like, and I guess I'm the kind of personality, too, that I just think a lot of things look nice, you know? Like, I've been to many weddings, and I'm like, I can't think of a wedding I've ever been to where I was like, ooh, you made poor choices. This was terrible.
I have, but I will not say.
I feel like a horrible person right now.
Oh, no.
No, I've been to one where I was like, what is happening? What is this?
Well, when you're 38 and single, your priorities change a little bit. Probably in my 20s, I would have been like, yeah, I want to have the like perfect wedding, and I want to be like, whatever. I just want to get married. I want to find somebody that loves me and get married. Boom.
Well, when that happens, I need to be invited.
Okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yes, it'll be really fun. Amber can be my maid of honor, and then we can have all a little Hallmarkies reunion.
That is when I'll finally show my face. That's when I'll show my face.
Okay, if you're out there, Mr. Sunshine, it's time to make an appearance because we need to see Emma on podcast.
We can see Emma's face.
And I will be dancing. Is there going to be a dance floor?
Oh, I'm a terrible dancer, but I love dancing at weddings.
Okay.
That's the only reason I would get a DJ is because I like dancing at weddings. Because most weddings are, well, here's a little tangent that we're going to go on for a second. Because Utah weddings, it's so weird because anything else that you go to in Utah is like super huge amount of food and super like ridiculous. And like if you go to like a scouting thing or you go to like a whatever, it's always like really nice and lots of food. But for some reason with weddings is like the one time everybody decides to be super cheap and like don't have dancing, so it's so boring. And then there's like no food. It's just like mince and peanuts. And it's just like and really bad cake. And so if I have a wedding, which I could just get married and I'm fine with that. If I have a wedding, then I promise you here right now on the podcast that I'm going to have good food and there's going to be dancing.
I want to be there.
Weddings are so boring if there's no dancing.
I'll host a dollar dance for you and make you some money.
Yeah.
Yes.
If anyone's interested in becoming the next Mr. Sunshine in my life, you can email the podcast.
Man, I'm going to start putting out advertisements and be like, listen,
yeah,
I'm ready to go to a Utah wedding with some good food. Let's make this happen.
Yes.
Right.
But yeah,
Utah
weddings are just super lame. And so if I ever get married, I totally want to change that and make them awesome, memorable. My cousin Danielle had a good Utah wedding. And so it was all planned by her sister Brienne. And they had like multiple food stations with like a whole pie station, which I am all about because I love pie. And
you reeled me in when you said food stations.
Yeah, so they had multiple food stations. I was like, this is the best day of my life. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. That's my feelings on weddings. But yeah, I mean, all the wedding planning in this was fairly tame. Like there wasn't really a bridezilla. It was just this weird, like, is she going to find out that I'm lying? And is he going to find out that I'm lying? And should we get married this fast? And I guess I'm glad they did because it all worked out fine. So
yeah,
way to go, get married. Like, why delay it if you don't have to?
I will say that PSA, don't be lying to your significant other like up until your wedding. It just probably won't go well after the wedding if you guys are lying about everything all of the time. I'm just my advice from over here.
Well, and especially about something that is nonsensical to lie about. It doesn't make any sense. Like, save your lies for like maybe something that's really like, I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend lying to your spouse.
Like if you've embezzled like $1 million from your office, yes, keep that from your spouse so they don't get indicted with you.
Right. There you go.
But if it's like you're trying to better yourself with education, Why don't you go ahead and share that? Hey,
Yeah.
this is where I'm going every Tuesdays and Thursdays from like 6 to 9.
Yeah.
I'm going to class.
What? Like, I can't imagine any human being in the world being like, you're going to school? Like, what is this, 1850? Like,
Right.
how dare my
Women
wife go to
can't
school?
read.
What?
Well, he did the same thing with those lessons in the dirt. He was like, don't tell her. And I'm like,
And
don't
what
tell
was
her
the
what?
lesson?
That you're crawling around in the dirt?
And what was the lessons of the dirt? Like, what? What was the point of
Organic
all that?
minerals being one with the dirt. I don't know.
Did you
I didn't
get
get
what was the point of the dirt lessons, Emma?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, the llama is always a highlight. I forget his name.
Is it Larry?
Something like Sunny or something, maybe? I don't know. Can't remember.
I don't know.
But the llama is just bizarre. Like, they're like, I don't know. I kind of wonder if the winery that they went to just happened to have a llama, and so they were like, okay, well, we gotta work it into the store.
Sure.
This llama will not leave. It's a character now.
Yeah. Because I remember Rachel Lee Cook talking to the animal trainer and was like, oh, so you're training the llama? And he's like, you don't train llamas.
Yeah.
I saw that too. That was cute.
So yeah, so I think basically, so yeah, I mean, and then the wedding was kind of fun at the end. But for me, I don't know. This one's pretty low. It was not for me. I'm gonna give it 2 crowns. Lisa, what about you?
I was trying to be nice because I do like these two together. So I gave it 3.
Okay, good. And
3
Emma?
I gave it 3 as well.
Oh, look at that. Very good.
I didn't know I had strong opinions about things until you guys started talking about it. So I didn't go back on what I wrote down.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's talk about the story of us. The plot is Jamie learns that her first love, Sawyer, is the architect of a development that wants to change her beloved neighborhood and threatens her bookstore. Can old Valentines help them see eye to eye? And so this movie was written by Tracy Ann Doreen, who we love, and she's amazing. And of course, it stars Sam Page and Maggie Lawson. And Emma, what was your overall thoughts on this one?
I am okay with it overall. I will say that I loved the second love story way more than the main love story. I liked Rick and Lucy way more than Jamie and Sawyer. And I don't know, it was, even though it had everything that you would want these movies to have, multiple love storylines, no one gave up their dreams for each other, and there's like scheming, getting people together. I don't know, it just was kind of just still okay for me.
Lisa, what did you think?
I actually liked this one. I'm gonna be honest, and I'll probably make a lot of Sam Pager fans, whatever they're called,
Pageheads.
mad, but Pageheads. I knew it was something. Sorry, Pageheads. Sorry. I'm not terribly a fan of his, but this movie, he drew me in. I was in. Now I get all you Pageheads. So I'm not ready to be inducted in your club. However, I will peruse membership in the future. But yeah, I had fun with it. Like I think I'm like you, Emma, where I kind of enjoyed the second storyline more.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was the guy. It was because of the guy, the way he looked at her.
They were just really cute. My biggest issue with it was the cards. Honestly, I thought they were kind of goofy.
The cards. So I actually enjoyed this. I think it could have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was serviceable, I guess, for me, because I think that all of the romantic stuff was really good. I don't think that this movie needed the save the bookstore, save the neighborhood story. I don't think that was needed. I think you could have taken it all away. And there's enough drama between these two people reconnecting from, being high school sweethearts. And you could have like a mild plot of maybe the bookstore not doing as well, and there's some kind of thing, maybe. But honestly, I think there's enough story there with these two people. You don't need it. And it was just so boring, that part. All the save the town stuff was not interesting to me. It was not compelling to me. It was so obvious, kind of. I mean, I guess there was a little bit like the fact that there kind of was this weird compromise that they reached in the end, so that was a little different. But I don't know. I just felt like this wasn't necessary at all. And so it was just kind of, every time I would come up, I was just like, oh, why did they do this? And I don't know. I also have not been the biggest Sam Page fan. I didn't really like him as the prince in the Royal New Year's because his accent wasn't great. And I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite. And I really disliked The Perfect Christmas Present.
Did you?
Dog one is, yeah, it took me to a dark place, as we all know. But yes. And then his dog one, Walking the Dog, I think it's called, is cute enough. That one's pretty good. But this is definitely, I think, the best I've seen him in my opinion. I mean, he's really got a Mad Men, but in Hallmark, it's my favorite, I think.
I'm not gonna say it, but I also am not a page head or page turner. What we're calling him.
Page turner. Oh, that's good. That we're going to make our own club, which is slightly under the loyalty of page heads and calls page turners, because sometimes we turn the page.
Oh,
right.
Hey. I just kept seeing his face and waiting for that accent to come out from the New Year's movie. And that was the issue, and that's just all on me. I understand. Because he seems nice enough and he's a good enough actor. I just couldn't stop thinking about that accent. And plus, I just felt like his friend upstaged him in the whole romance thing. Just the way he looked at Lucy, it made my heart melt. I loved that second storyline.
Yeah. And I do also like Sam Page's Valentine movie. It's called All Things Valentine. That one's pretty cute, about the blogger.
But
you don't like that one?
The face he made when he was eating that chocolate. Did you guys remember that scene? I rewound it so many times and kept watching it over and over again because I couldn't believe it was real. Yeah. But okay. Okay, I'll let that
go. So Maggie Lawson, she's had a bit of a rocky road on Hallmark. We all love her in Psych. But Christmas Encore kind of took me to a dark place as well. I really dislike that movie. I think if I remember correctly, Emma, you and I picked the Romance at Reindeer Lodge in the March Madness tournament over Christmas Encore.
Yes, we did.
Amber
was so mad.
Because I don't know, I just really was frustrated by that movie. It was not for me.
Yeah.
And the perfect wedding is fine. It's serviceable. It's not great, I don't think, but it's fine. But anyway, so she hasn't had a big breakout hit, I don't think, on Hallmark yet. Can we safely say that?
Yeah. I liked her in this. I really did. But, okay, so in all fairness, I have never seen her in anything else because I didn't watch Psych. Even though I did go to high school with that guy.
Which guy?
But, the lead guy, James Roday, but when I went to school with him, his name was James Rodriguez. I did not know him whatsoever. He was a senior. I was a freshman.
Okay.
I think my dad had him in class.
Oh, cool.
I think my dad
you can pretend you were best friends.
Yeah.
No, he would never even recognize me at all. Even if we were in the same room and I'm like, we went to high school together, he'd be like, but I have never seen her in anything but these movies, and I thought this was the best of hers.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they had pretty good chemistry, the two of them. And so that's why I was almost just frustrated anytime we were going back to the Save the Town thing, because I just felt like the stuff with them was really good, and it was just, I don't know. And I believe in Tracy Andreen's writing enough that she could have made a really good movie just about the two of them reconnecting, and that would have been so good. I did love her bookstore. It was very like charming, and we've had a lot of bookstores recently in the Small Town Christmas. We had bookstore in the oh gosh, what was it called? Hope for Christmas, the one with Ryan Peavy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway, there was
Christmas.
a bookstore in there. And this was this was kind of, there wasn't that many books in the bookstore. Like, I don't know how you make a living on this bookstore, but it was very like beautiful and very well done. Set decorator did a very good job, I think, creating that whole feel of this sort of romantic bookstore. It kind of reminded me a little, it's totally different, but just in the way it was so cute, of the shop around the corner, and you got now everything's just so idyllic, I think.
Yeah.
A romantic bookstore. And so yeah, that was all very well done, I think. And who on earth could imagine wanting to tear down this like perfect bookstore? Like, what? Anyway, yes, then we had this side romance that you mentioned a couple times between Rick and Lucy, and I agree with you completely that this was the best part about the movie. These two were so cute together, and the whole scene when they're at the carnival or whatever festival, and these are kind of like standing there like, what should we do, whatever, and then they end up kissing, and you've got Sam Page and Maggie Lawson hiding behind the thing, one of the booths, and they're just like jumping for joy. And that whole scene was so cute. I loved the kiss, and I loved their reaction. It was really fun.
How much better was that kiss than like the kiss at the end of the movie that was just
agreed.
like a little peck? It was so weird.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's true. Because that just made it more fun. Like having like these spires, people.
That was so cute.
It was really cute. Yeah. The actors, it was Marco Grazzini is playing Rick, and Zibby Allen was playing Lucy, and they were just so cute, and they had such good chemistry. And you just kept feeling like all the time, like, what's wrong with this man? Like, how is he just not seeing all these signs? And but it was done in a really cute way. So I think what you could do is you could have had maybe add one more couple to the mix, get rid of the Save the Town, and just follow these three couples on Valentine's Day. One of them owns a bookstore on romance. Boom.
Right.
That would be enough for a movie, I think. But I don't know. Lisa, were you really into this second couple? Like we were?
Yes, I liked, and the funny thing is I liked the second couple, not only for the way they played off of each other and the fact that they finally got together and I thought they were cute, but the way they made the first original couple react, like how they affected that couple. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the second storyline more than the first. Yeah, I'm not really into the whole, this one was actually a better version of it, but I'm not super into second chance love stories. They're not totally my thing. But this one wasn't like, it wasn't as dramatic and as like, oh, I can't trust you in a bit, well, you left me,
right.
I just want dramatic. I feel the same way, Lisa. I asked my husband, I said, do this many people care about getting back with their high school sweetheart that like they need to make like 80 movies about it?
I know.
Because I just really don't think about that. Like my high school boyfriend, we should not talk ever. So
yeah, I'm fine with the trope if it's executed well. It doesn't bother me, but I don't know. It was just, I guess I was fine with that trope. I was not fine with the Save the Town thing. I know I've said it like a million times, but
yeah,
it was just so
that
boring.
Part was just complicated it was just unnecessary, like you said. And at the end, I didn't get it. So he redid the whole plans and made his development but saved her shop?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
what
because then they're gonna like build his structures on top.
Right.
of
But then what does every
existing
other business
structures.
owner think about that? They're like, hello.
Do they
We've
get to
got
keep their stores too?
Well, I
Yeah.
guess so. Yeah. And I guess do they still get to keep the because if I'm that company, I'm not offering the same deal if I have to build on top
Right.
of it, which is way harder and I don't even know if that's like engineeringly possible.
Do they have air
Just
rights to this?
build like air rights. But I don't know if you can like like a building has to be built with like the foundation and the structure for the size of the building. You can't like place a whole nother building on top of a building.
But like, did you guys think that tree was just massive and very dangerous that they kept showing? It was like as big as the Miss Christmas tree. I'm like, they would have cut that down years ago. It's gonna fall down and like destroy everything. I'm all about saving trees, but that one was dangerously tall.
That's true. There was like an ice storm or something. Like
I know.
Yeah. That's very true.
I just thought it was so funny. Kept showing that massive tree.
I also think that they could have integrated the old Valentines a little bit more. It would have been kind of cool if maybe they had like a voice like a voiceover from the past kind of narrating the Valentines and maybe a little bit of that story mixed in. Like it really wasn't integrated all that well, the old Valentines that she finds.
Yeah, I was really excited about that. I know Lisa wasn't, but I love stuff like that. I wanted maybe there to be a mystery within that love story and it just to play in, and that could have totally taken out the save everything, and it would have been romantic to me. To find out what happened to this couple or something. I don't know.
Because that's what they did really well. I can think of, obviously, Signed, Sealed, Delivered does that all the time. Amazing. But also in the Good Witch movie this last October, they did a really good job of, like, at the very beginning, introducing this, it was almost like a fairy tale kind of a thing with, like, the girl from the 1800s that almost marries this, her love and almost elopes, and this letters between the two and whatever. And there's the heart of Middleton, and then that's kind of set up at the beginning and then a little bit at the end, and you kind of learn more about their love story along the way. And that was really fun. And so I think you could kind of have done something kind of like that, where maybe you start off with the old love story. Maybe somebody who goes off to war is in love, and then they fall in love they send these Valentines, and then comes back and then at the end, you find out the end of their love story or something like that. But I just thought it could have been integrated a little bit more. So, yeah.
Can I make one tiny correction on my defense? I liked the love letters between the guy and the girl in that part. It was the box and the fact that she all of a sudden finds this random box full of cards, and it's like a brand new box, which,
I know.
Side note, Hallmark is actually selling. So,
right.
Way to tie that in. And they open it, and I'm just like, none of this is really old. Like, I think it was
she finds it in the piano, right?
Yes, and she's like, of course, what is this? What is this? And I'm like, you never cleaned once behind anything, and you didn't notice that when you bought this place, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Like in The Good Witch, I can't remember, but I think it was in some kind of secret tunnel or something like that. So that's how you do it.
I totally understand that. That bothered me too.
So, all right. Well, how many crowns would you give this one, Emma?
I gave it 3.75 crowns.
Okay, good. All right. Lisa, what about you?
Sharing a brain tonight? Because, same thing. That's 3.75.
Nice. I wanted to say one thing that Rick kept calling that one guy sweater guy, like a bad thing. I kept thinking, Lisa, that's a compliment from Lisa. She loves sweater guys. I kept thinking that the whole time.
That's very true.
Sweater dudes.
So I am going to give this one a 3.5. So still recommend it. There we go. All right. Now we're going to talk about Love, Romance, and Chocolate. This is New York accountant Emma Colvin is heartbroken when her boyfriend leaves her before their planned romantic getaway to Belgium for Valentine's Day. Convinced by a friend to go alone on the trip, Emma has the adventure of a lifetime when her Belgian innkeeper introduces her to renowned chocolatier Luc Simon. Luc and his fellow chocolatiers are in the midst of a competition to create the most romantic chocolate in Belgium for the upcoming Belgian royal wedding. He discovers her kitchen skills, and soon she's immersed in the competition and a budding romance develops. So there you go. This, of course, stars Lacey Chabert, Will Kemp, and Brittany Bristow in our leads. And so this one could have easily veered into Scientific Farmer territory. We gotta find the perfect chocolate, kind of. But luckily it didn't. And I actually ended up really enjoying it. I thought it had a lot of swoon-worthy moments, and I kind of liked the love triangle, which I normally don't. It was kind of unreasonable, but I thought both of the guys were super dreamy, so that goes a long way for me. And so I don't know. I kind of just enjoyed. I went along for the ride with this movie. I really liked all of the sort of travel porn shots of Bruges, and I was just like, oh, I want to go there. That looks so beautiful. And I liked Brittany Bristow with her ridiculous accent. Like, I love when they have ridiculous accents in Hallmark movies. And yes. I thought, I haven't been a huge fan of a lot of Lacey's recent movies, but this one I think is one of her best in a while, personally. So most of her chocolates sounded absolutely disgusting, but we'll talk about that. But other than that, I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And it was nice that it was just the week of Valentine's. I was just in the mood, I think, especially to watch this one. But Emma, what do you think of it?
I agree with you. Woo-hoo! It was a royal movie, not really about royals. And it was like, I think this is the most royal movie I could like, because the person didn't fall in love with a royal. I was so into that. And I don't know, I thought it was really romantic. I really liked Will Kemp in this role a lot. And yeah, I haven't liked a lot of Lacey's most recent movies, but I've always been a huge Lacey fan. And I thought that they did a good job with her character, not getting snippy and mad about silly things like she has in her most recent roles. But yeah, I was just enjoying this one. Yeah. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Bruges was beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
I enjoyed it.
Have my wedding there. Change of plan. Walk out of Bruges.
I will start saving.
Done.
Lisa, what did you think?
I had to go ahead and go into this with a super open mind, just because I knew that she was going to help make chocolate in a foreign country. It was just, okay. This could go either way. So I tried to go into it with a super open mind, and of course the setting made up for a lot of stuff, just the fact that it was gorgeous, like you guys say. And Will Kemp, the last time we saw him, he was super gelled, and this time his hair was doing its own thing, and it was super working for me. And he wore a lot of Henleys, and he was making a lot of chocolate, and I was like, you could just do this for 2 hours and that'd be fine. I will say that the competing love interest made me laugh out loud, just because when he first entered, and you knew automatically as he enters he's the other guy.
Yeah,
but they made him look so villainous for no reason. Like,
I know,
he's just and I just burst out laughing, not because he's he's very attractive, but it was just the way they presented him. And of course they put him in a beard because, I guess leading guys can't have beards. So if you have a beard, you're a villain. But it was fun. It was some of it was ridiculous, but overall it was fun.
Yeah, it is true. Like Henry Gowan on One Calls the Heart, the more redeemed he gets, the less facial hair that we see. That's a thing.
Listen, some of us like a beard. Some of us want all of that. Just make them as hairy as you can, as long as you can see their eyes. Just
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of
very
myself, but
oh, I am a fan of it.
Oh, you are.
Emma, you and I, we've talked about this before. Yes,
but it's really
my
more of a
husband has beautiful
thing
facial hair.
than a Hallmark thing, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you do have to, in this movie, have a major suspension of disbelief. Like, the idea that any human being would go over to Bruges, I don't care if you're by yourself, I don't care if you want to, like, get into the castle or something, but would spend her entire trip working for this chocolate place. Like, what?
Okay, but in all fairness, if Will Kemp opened his door and said, "Come in here and make chocolate with me," I'd be like, "Huh? Yes."
Yeah.
Yes.
Might be more inclined, but they kept trying to, like, I felt like this sort of comparison between the cupcakes and the chocolates didn't quite work for me, because I'm like, cupcakes are just very different. Like, eating a cupcake is a very different experience than eating a chocolate. And, like, her flavor combinations sounded so disgusting. She wanted lavender in, like, everything. Lavender is like making your food into soap. Like, you don't want it with water. Like, it's disgusting. Why on earth? I mean, there's no way that tastes good. And then when she went over to the fancy people's shop, because I guess was supposed to be, like, modern and, like, cold or something like that. But, like, what?
You didn't want a cactus chocolate, Rachel?
It sounded way better than whatever madness she was making. And I mean, I guess they kind of in the end came up with this, like, combination of the cupcake and, like, because there's a pedophore with cola. But,
you know, that's not what they asked for. They asked for chocolate.
Right. I mean,
I think it was all chocolate. I'm on their side.
Is this competition just any chocolate dessert, or is it a chocolate truffle making competition? And they kept calling it pralines. Am I crazy? But I thought pralines had nuts.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they had nuts too.
I was very confused by that. I'm like, what is this? But I guess it was just any chocolate dessert was the competition, not chocolates, which was confusing. But anyway, they end up with cherry cola, which they were acting like this was the most revolutionary thing to ever exist.
Which is not, isn't it?
Where did she get it from?
Like, Coke cake, like, really popular and famous. Like,
yeah,
making cake with a Coke can. Like, I don't know. I thought that a can of Coke, I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think
understand where she got it in Bruges. They have cherry Coke there. Like, in a can, you can just go get it. She's like, "Oh, I just use cherry Coke." I'm like, "Where did you get it? Did you get cherry Coke?" I'll look it up.
I mean, I would think that they would have it in Europe. I mean, it's been around in America for, like, forever. I mean, they've had, I don't know when cherry Coke it was invented, but I think they've had, let's see if I can find it. I guess it was introduced in the 80s, but there were other brands and stuff. And so, yeah, we had cherry Coke regardless since the 80s. So I don't think, like, making cherry cola flavored chocolate is, like, insanity. This is groundbreaking. But whatever. I mean, all of that, I was able to suspend disbelief, I guess.
Okay, if I may,
yes.
I'm finding an article from June 16th of 1999 that says Coca-Cola pulled from stores in Europe. And specifically, there were recalls of sudden illness in 31 Belgian school children from Coke products. So I'm going to go and say that's probably why they were shocked. They were like, "Oh, you put Coke in this? This is great. We're all going to die."
Are you trying to poison the royals?
Yeah. It's going to cause, like, trauma to eat this cake.
No wonder they were like, "Coke? God."
That is so funny. I love that.
Well, at least we know now. But for me, my biggest problem with her constantly, like, from the get-go, well, why don't you, and she was almost kind of like condescending about it, like, well, you just don't try new things. And I'm like, lady, he's been doing this his entire life. I think he knows what he's doing. And I get it that it was supposed to be like a parallel to them changing and growing, and I get that. But at the same time, I was like, settle down. You don't even know this dude. He doesn't even know you. You're in here with no hairnet making chocolate for the first time in your life, and shenanigans.
Yeah.
Stop telling him what to do. Stop making him put poison in his chocolates.
Stop telling him to make his chocolate taste like soap. What is going on? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'm a fan when it comes to treats, I guess. I tend to like I love a good like yellow cake chocolate frosting. That's the best thing to ever exist.
I just kept thinking Rachel would want yellow cake with chocolate frosting.
That's right.
You remember weird things, guys.
It is the best flavor combination. It's buttery, it's chocolatey, it's not too chocolatey. It's the best. And so, yes, but I was able to put that beside because how many amazing sexy chocolate tempering scenes were there in this movie? I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like if I ever get this mysterious Mr. Sunshine in my life, we're totally doing chocolate tempering. Like that's a new date essential. Because that was very cozy. I really enjoyed that. And I actually, I don't know, I knew it was like super cringy in a lot of ways, but I really kind of liked this little stupid love triangle that they had. I mean, the fact that he like throws the flowers in the trash and is like all pouty and whatever after
I screamed laughing at that.
But I think it was just melodramatic enough to be entertaining for me. It was just soapy enough to be like, I don't know, kind of fun for me.
I thought the best part of the movie is when he recited her grandfather's letter from memory in front of this like beautiful water. Oh my gosh, I had to hold my heart during that scene. It was wonderful.
Yeah. So there we go. That's basically covers it. It was just a fun, silly little movie in my opinion, but I did enjoy it. So I am going to give it surprise 4 crowns.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, wow.
Emma, what are you going to give it?
Oh, I gave it 4 crowns too.
Oh, very good. Lisa, what about you?
Well, now I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad.
I gave it 1 crown. No, I'm just kidding. I gave it 3.75 crowns.
Yeah, it's a very good
like
score.
Barely off.
But still.
All right. So then we had Love on the Menu. This is this last weekend on Hallmark Channel. And it's a chef makes a deal with a frozen food executive in order to save his restaurant. We don't have a long summary on that one. And this stars Autumn Reeser and Kevin Smith and Barbara Niven. And it was written by Kevin Smith as well, which was really exciting. And Lisa, what were your overall thoughts on this one?
I had issues with the parenting aspect of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and there wasn't a giant conflict. It all seemed kind of wrapped up very well, but overall, I mean, I enjoyed it. I will say I did enjoy it. I thought Kevin did a really great job with the dialogue. I loved how much he put himself into it. You could tell that he was really, really into this role. And I had fun watching his performance. So yeah, I had fun with it.
Yeah. Emma, what about you?
Okay, I'm about to black out. Just thinking about how many feelings I have about this movie. Like, I hated it so much that I love it.
Oh,
Does that make any sense? That I hate it so much that I love it? I don't even know how to start, so I'm just gonna give you that for now.
Okay, good. I love it. All right. Well, I did get to interview the director, which was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. I absolutely love talking to her, Ellie Canner. If you haven't listened to that interview, it's such a fun interview because she worked in casting for like 20 years and she had the most amazing stories about casting Sex in the City and Friends, and it was really cool. And just her experiences becoming a director was really cool too, and I just loved that interview. So I was already and it just seemed like a fun movie, so I was very predisposed to enjoying it. But I loved it. I thought it was so good. I thought that the thing I liked so much about it is that I thought that their relationship really grew very organically. Like they were spending time together, and I guess it is over a fairly short period of time, but I don't know. I just bought that they would, in each sort of situation that they were spending time together, and that they became more attracted to each other. And then I thought it was amazing that they had this super early kiss in the movie. That was really fun and very unusual for Hallmark. I really liked that. I love Autumn Reeser and Calvin Smith in it. I thought they had great chemistry. The cooking stuff is very, classic Hallmark. And I enjoyed that. And I just bought their romance together. I thought that it was really grown up and very felt somewhat realistic, so I can imagine this actually happening. And it was kind of fun for Barbara Niven to be playing this sort of more ruthless exec type. I thought was fun. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So let's talk a little bit more about it. So the whole sort of conceit of him running this restaurant, and he's this widower. And the one thing that is impossible to believe about this movie is that he would have no idea that there was this whole extra loan taken out on his restaurant, and that this whole sort of brother-in-law character was really weird. Like, what is going on? Why is he having this person run all his books, and why is this all of a sudden this new thing that they're struggling? He has no idea what, and I guess he's getting fleeced by people. I mean, this is Gordon Ramsay needs to come in here. I mean, this is
that's what I kept thinking.
And so that was definitely ridiculous. I'm sure the Hallmark guys will go nuts about that. But oh well, what am I going to do? I don't know. What did you think about the overall setup? Lisa, what did you think?
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts to this restaurant, and I get that they set it up in terms of, his wife passed away, and so he just couldn't focus on anything but his daughter in the restaurant. But yeah, it was frustrating that he seemed to know nothing, and he apparently was this famous chef in this area of not a lot of restaurants, and he's doesn't know anything. And for me, the most frustrating part was the lack of hygiene in their kitchen, with the amount of times they didn't have hairnets on. He had his phone in there and he kept touching his phone and then going back into cooking. I was like, you know how filthy your phone is? And she just kept walking in her suits and being like, hey guys, let me just grab it. His daughter came in and grabbed food off the plate, and I wanted to vomit. I was like, this kitchen is the worst.
He didn't reheat that. I mean, he remade that, the one that she ate off.
But still, the fact that she just went in there was like, oh, what the heck? Girl, did you not grow up in here? Stop it.
Yeah. Emma, what about you? Was that something that bothered you?
I mean, usually, yes. I have hand sanitizer on me at all times, and I wash my hands probably 20 times a day. Maybe is that a lot? I don't know. Maybe 100 times. I don't know. It's just nonstop. But I overlooked that. I was just okay. I don't even know how to put it into words, but it wasn't even the story that threw me off. It was the music, and it drove me the movie drove me nuts visually. I thought there were very odd choices made. I have a hard time knowing if it's the director or the cinematographer who's making these decisions, But I understand what they're trying to do, kind of like Downton Abbey, how they did like handheld cameras to make things look very hectic downstairs and use like stationary shots upstairs just to show the difference. So they had like the whole handheld camera in the kitchen, and it made it seem kind of gritty, which really threw me off from like a Hallmark movie. But then they also used the handheld camera in non-kitchen moments, and I just felt like there was it just didn't make any sense to me, a lot of the choices. And with the music, like it went from 90s sitcom background music to like a sexy slow jam when they were making pasta to like really dramatic classical music, that I was just thrown off and like cracking up the entire time. I'm so confused by all of it.
Yeah.
I know none of this stuff should matter, and I should be happy that they're taking risks in the Hallmark universe, but I was so thrown off, guys. And I know there's ridiculous reasons to be so just mad and annoyed, but I was.
No, I get it. I understand that can be a big factor in an overall receipt of a movie. It's all the package. You have to be able to be engaged. And so the plot, though, so she works for this frozen food manufacturer. She can't cook like at all, and
Which
you see
I
her at the
appreciated.
beginning.
I liked that part where they were like, I really liked that they made it known like she can't cook, she won't cook. She's like, no. I like that.
Yeah,
she was anti-cooking. Sorry.
Well, that reminds me, there's something majorly wrong with this daughter, because I would give just about anything to have someone make me breakfast. And he's making her like so many things. And I mean, I'm just like, my mom had a baby when I was a freshman in high school. And so she was either on bed rest and pregnant, or she was taking care of an infant my entire high school. And so, or a young child. And so she was obviously up at crazy hours. And so she didn't make us breakfast. And the only time that she made us breakfast, for the most part, was if there was a snow day or if it was our birthday. Then we got to have our mom make us breakfast. And we were just responsible for getting our own breakfast, which was fine. Or we ate hot breakfast at school. And so, like, the idea when anybody makes me breakfast, it's like, you're the nicest person in the world. Thank you for making me breakfast. And so like, I just don't understand this daughter, like, being, I don't know. That was bonkers to me.
I have lots of comments about the daughter. Whenever we can, I would
please.
like to jump in. Or now, can I say them now?
Yes, please.
Go for it.
First of all, yeah, I would be irritated if my kids came in every morning and I made something for them, like, listen, you're eating it or you're not eating. Boom. Don't give me, no, you're eating it. I made it, you're going to eat it. Because I tell them, I'm like, this is money. And the fact that I have to throw it away means I just wasted money. And that means you get less money if I have to throw this away. Second of all, she hacked into a school computer and got suspended. And everyone was like, no, this little nugget over here with your wet. No.
I forgot that.
I forgot about it too.
And got suspended. And he's like, I knew better than to leave you alone. Nay, this girl, I've been like, you're eating whatever I want, whatever I make. You're never leaving this house. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, and she's like, well, the Mells. And I'm like, who are these Mells? I need to know these Mells because they're making you awful.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
It's true.
Did you get like a Full House vibe from that? Like, okay, that kitchen was so outdated and I hated it. But like every conversation that happened in that kitchen happened on Full House. Like he's like, oh, and she's like, Dad, I don't know. I just felt like I was watching a 90s sitcom. And my husband was like, he's trying to be the cutest daddy. Like he was just trying to be so cute and shaky about everything. It was too much. I don't like Full House, for the record.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the the scene where they were cooking in the house. But yeah, the stuff with the daughter wasn't the best. I agree with you.
I'm sorry, I forgot she hacked into a computer.
That was
a computer. And
Yeah.
everybody just took their word for it. She's like, well, they got hacked and they changed their grades, so I just changed them back. Really? Sit down. Sit down. No.
Plus, they need to do a better job with their computer. Like if a high schooler can hack into it, that's concerning.
And then later when she was redoing the website, she's like, and she's barely even moving the computer. She's like, what if we did this? Or that? I'm like, that's not how any of this works. As someone who does this for a living, that's not how any of this works. Oh.
Yes, it's very true. I do also have to laugh that the whole idea of like frozen Italian food is like, oh my gosh, this is revolutionary. I'm thinking outside the box, big time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is kind of silly. What are you gonna do? Yeah, but I don't know. I felt like their relationship really did grow kind of organically, and I just felt like they had really good chemistry. Like it I don't know, felt believable to me that I really liked her taking the daughter out shopping. Mm-hmm. That whole sequence was kind of cute, and how can you not start to become kind of attracted to a woman that's like being so nice to your daughter and just being so thoughtful and I mean, I just about died when they had that kiss in the kitchen. I thought that was so good.
Oh yeah.
That was
I did like their relationship. I did. I agree with you. I think it happened very naturally. It wasn't like this, you know, what I really liked was it wasn't a full movie of her trying to convince that frozen foods was the way to go and the only way to save his restaurant, and that they didn't have to spend the entire movie fighting where he was trying to do it his own way and then she's like, frozen foods, you know. Yeah. He was like, okay, this is it. We just got to go this way. And so we didn't have to spend all that time and energy them fighting. They just got to work together and spend time together, and it led to that kiss, which I thought, like you, I thought was great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really confusing to me because I did like their relationship a lot. There are just all these extra things that made me want to die. I like it. Was no one else bothered by how weird the camera work was and all of the weird like angles of stuff and this random cooking? The fires and the weird music. Am I the only one who's like so upset about that?
I like some of the cooking scenes. Yeah.
It didn't bother me. I mean, I've just recently watched and reviewed on my channel No Reservations and Mostly Martha, which No Reservations is a remake of Mostly Martha, and both of those movies are excellent in my opinion. Especially Mostly Martha is really good if you can handle a German movie, and I feel like for this genre, those kind of shots are actually pretty common in that kind of, I don't know, so maybe since I just recently seen that where you have like the close-ups of the food and that kind of cinematography is actually pretty common for this kind of movie, and so it didn't bother me, but I can see how it would bother you. It's a valid point. I didn't really notice the music either.
Music. That one got me.
Yeah, for sure. I can see. I don't know.
It just seems sloppy to me, and I don't know if it's because I didn't like the handheld. I don't know, just because I don't understand why they took that outside of the kitchen, having shaky camera scenes outside of the kitchen. I don't understand, but it just seems sloppy. But I had such a bad time that I had a great time, and I don't know how I'm going to rate this movie because I actually had a great time watching it. I'm so confused.
I mean, we all have those Hallmark movies that we enjoy, ironically. I kind of felt that way about Christmas Made to Order. It was ridiculous on so many levels, but I was just like, I was just kind of lost a little sense of reality by the time that one aired. I was just like, this is great. This is hilarious. So it's fine. Whatever you can rate it, however you want to rate it. It's great. But yeah, I have to say, I didn't notice that. Maybe on a second watch, I would notice it. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. And so, yep, I am going to give this one 4.25 crowns.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
yeah, it's definitely one
gosh.
It's one I'm definitely going to keep on the DVR. I just really enjoyed it. So Lisa, what about you?
I gave it 3.25.
Very good. Okay. And Emma, if you want, you could give it a real score and an ironic score.
Okay.
Will that make it better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do that.
Okay, so the real score is a 2.75.
Okay.
But like deep in my heart, it's a 5. Like this, I'm very confused. Like I know I got really crazy over here. I don't understand my feelings. It's like I'm in love with the person I've always hated. That's the feeling I'm having right now. I don't know.
Very good. It's very good. All right. So the last one that we're going to talk about is our one mystery. Like I said, we're not talking about the Chronicle Mysteries because we're going to talk about that in a later episode. So we're going to talk about Emma Fielding mysteries that more bitter than death. And this one, Emma has not seen. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. And Emma's going to give a score of how much she wants to watch it based on what we say. Right? So you can ask questions if you don't, or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So the plot is, while hosting the annual gathering of the Association for the Study of American Archaeology at Kensor College, Emma Fielding is thrust into the midst of a murder mystery when the president of her organization is poisoned on the eve of announcing her successor. With many of the leading archaeologists present having expressed their entitlement to the presidency prior to the murder, Emma and FBI pal Jim Connor have plenty of likely suspects. So there we go. So a little backstory. I have just seen the one previous Emma Fielding film. I haven't seen the first one. And I thought it was pretty boring. It was one of my lower ranked ones last year. I forgot to give my rankings for all these. I'll do that at the end. But it was one of my lower rankings of last year was the Emma Fielding Past Malice, because it just, even Kimberly Susted couldn't save it for me. It was just very dull. So I went to this with pretty low expectations, and that may be part of why I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. But I realized something for me as far as these mysteries. I think I like the ones that are a little bit ridiculous and kind of silly better than the ones that are very serious, because I think the ones that are very serious are very boring. And so like I didn't really like the Haley Dean ones. They weren't for me. They were very serious. And I think I like some a little bit more ridiculous. And this definitely was very ridiculous. And so I actually ended up enjoying it. I thought it was kind of fun. I liked just these whole like pedantic, snobby professors who were all like kind of trying to one up each other. I thought they were really funny, and I could have used a whole movie just about them because they were great, I thought. And I actually thought there was some pretty nice chemistry between Emma and Jim. And like by the end, when they get a little kiss at the end, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Just the whole idea of this like secret society and in this college and this vault with all this. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. And so that's why I would say, Emma, I think you would like it because it's just so non-realistic. Like there's nothing. Some of the other mysteries are like definitely more scary. Like Mystery 101, that one was pretty scary. This one, not scary at all. It's so silly. What would do you agree with any of that, Lisa? What was your thoughts on it overall?
I do agree with it. And let me say a little backstory for myself. This is the first Emma Fielding I've watched, period. So I don't know the history of her and the FBI dude, which I'm assuming just by their little banter back and forth that there's supposed to be some unresolved sexual tension between them, like some USC. Right. And maybe the kiss at the end was like 3 movies worth of, oh my God, it's finally happened. But I was just okay, whatever. I will say this. I do love secret society type mysteries, like in the vein of like young Sherlock Holmes, where there's like some cultish like sort of thing, like Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, where it's, that in the 80s where it was like everybody was involved in some sort of like blood drinking cult, and everybody, it was all secret, and people that like wore suits during the day were involved in all these like pagan ritual. So it had that kind of thing. And plus I live in New Haven, where we actually have secret societies on Yale's campus, so that was like, ooh, maybe this is going on there. But I didn't get a lot of excitement from anybody. Everybody just kind of, the best part to me was Jeff Gustafson.
Gustafson in that run.
Yes, but he was just bookish, and every time he came on screen, I just started laughing because he just did it really well, and he was super into it. But
he's probably like, I shouldn't have to run this hard. I'm supposed to play a nerd. Like, what is going on?
It was so funny because you could tell when it was the body double, like at the end.
Right.
This is amazing. But there was no, like in some of these, for Emma, in some of these, like they don't show the actual murders happening. It's always just a little bit of hinting. But this one, there was nothing gruesome. Like there was nothing even, like there was no blood. There was no like gun. There was no like, it's just.
Yeah, because the person who gets murdered gets poisoned, and like I just love the fact that like all of the conference or whatever that they're having like just continues on, and they still just have like if like literally like she falls to the ground while giving a speech at the conference. Like you would not continue to have your conference, and everybody's just like, well, I think she really wanted me to be the head of the department after she like what? After she retired. And but I thought they did a pretty good job obfuscating like who the murderer was. I mean, I knew that it wasn't any of these professors, but like because it was just too early. And
there was a moment when they shared a look, and I was like, oh, they're all in it together because they all went to school together. And then, I was like, oh, well, I think, again, I don't know these characters, so I don't know anything about their background, but I thought the lead dude, Jim, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's an FBI, like he works for the FBI, because he seemed to be clueless about how standard police operating procedures were. It was just all over the place. And I'm like,
yeah. And then she ends up in that vault, and that was pretty tense. That was pretty crazy. I'm like, who is this? This guy, the murderer. I mean, he is planning on getting away with a lot here in this whole plan. It's quite the plan, but I don't know. It was just over the top enough for me to have fun with it and just be kind of silly. And and I, like I said, I particularly liked those professors were really funny to me.
Yeah, they were.
And then, I liked that we got a kiss at the end, and this is just sort of this little romantic tension was fun. And
they never have before.
A little bit, but this was definitely like the most of the. I mean, I've only seen the second movie, but yeah, they had a little bit more, and that was kind of fun, I thought. So it's actually my favorite mystery so far this year.
Of all the mysteries?
It is. It's my favorite. I had the most fun with it. The others, I have it at number 4 in my ranking. I have Mystery 101 at number 5. They're pretty different experiences. I mean, but I don't know. If I was just like relaxing and wanting to watch another mystery, I would turn on this over Mystery 101 just because this was more silly.
Yeah, this was low key. This is just like very, very surface mystery. Yeah.
And I'm not super high on the mysteries in general, so there you go. But anyway, I don't know, just because like Mystery 101 had like 2 people get murdered, and like I felt like Christopher Plummer was kind of in another movie the whole time. Like he was trying to be like Edward G. Robinson or something like that in the middle of this like silly movie. But I still enjoyed it. I have it at number 5. But anyway, so I will give this one 3.75 crowns. What about you, Lisa?
I think I would give it 3.25. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
It was fun. And, I think maybe I need to go back and watch the first 2 and get caught up with the backstory and the, initial setup and stuff like that. And maybe I would enjoy this more. We'll see. So,
Emma, on a scale of 1 to 5, how persuasive were we in talking about the movie?
Well, I would say a 4 because of the silliness. And you guys don't know that I love Secret Society stuff too. I mean, I love Gilmore Girls, and they had the Yale Secret Society storyline going on. So, I don't know, that sounds fun to me. Yes. I don't know if I'll watch it just because everything scares me, but I mean, you sold me on it.
Yes. Oh, good. This is giving me new confidence in my podcasting ability. It's very good.
Now I want you to watch it and report back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw it was replaying soon, so I'll tape it.
So I will give you my rankings. I forgot. I'll give you my rankings for the other ones we talked about. So I have Valentine in the Vineyard. There's 13 films so far from Hallmark this year. I have Valentine in the Vineyard at number 11. And then I have The Story of Us at number 6. And I have Love, Romance, and Chocolates at number 3. And I have Love on the Menu at number 2.
What's number 1?
Number 1 is One Winter Proposal.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that one will be topped all year. I would be kind of surprised. That was just about perfect, in my opinion. So
number 13. I gotta know what's number 13 right now. What's hanging on at the bottom?
Ruby Herring. Sorry, Ruby. It just didn't work for me. And then Snow Coming is number 12. And that one didn't work for me. But yeah, so there we go. That is my ranking so far for the year. So I think it was a pretty good February. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah. There wasn't any movie that I pretty much liked everything that I saw, except for Valentine in the Vineyard. And I think I still liked Valentine in the Vineyard better than My Secret Valentine last year, which was intense to me. I didn't like that movie at all.
My Secret Valentine, my rant recap that I never posted because it was too mean.
Yeah.
So there we go. That is the February movies. So let us know what you think. What you think out of these movies? What were your favorites? How many crowns you would give them? Let us know in the comment section or on Twitter. We would love to hear. That would be really fun. And like I said, make sure you check out all the content this week. It's a lot of fun stuff coming. We're going to also be having a preview of March sort of movies. Hallmark has made life very difficult for me by waiting until the middle of March to start Spring Fever, so we can't just do a Spring Fever preview. Yeah, it's madness. But anyway, so Marissa Serafini is joining me. We're going to talk about that, and it's going to be really fun. And so we've got lots of fun stuff coming up, and really looking forward to it. And so Lisa, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Girl Gone Hallmark.
Great. And Emma, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Hallmark, and my recaps and reviews at thehallmark.com. And I promise I am going to be writing more. Life has just been very hectic lately, like extremely hectic.
Yeah. Well, at least everybody's feeling better.
Yes.
Unlike
my
Christmas.
fridge died. You're right.
Yeah.
Just been a lot of house stuff I've been having to deal with.
Oh, no. No fun. Well, very good. Yeah, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube, so check that out. I have weekly family movie nights, including that Mostly Martha and No Reservations review that I think you'll really enjoy. And so check that out. And thanks so much, you guys. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.